This is the solar system of the game. Now, the way Outer Wilds is programmed is everything is one level. Okay? And one of the biggest things they did for programming is they're like, how do you get everything to be one level so everything is moving in real time with that much detail? And they're like, we couldn't figure out how to do it where like, do you have to go into different zones and then things are on and then they're off? Because every single planet has atmospheric things going on and anomalies going on and all that wild stuff. And it's like, well, it all has to be turned on at the same time, but how do you keep the rendering going? And they figured out the perfect pinpoint spot in the entire solar system to be their 0, 0 coordinate. And the weird thing is, it's actually you. You were literally the center of your universe. And so the rest of the game moves around you. You don't actually technically move. So because of this, as long as you are next, whatever you're near gets higher resolution. The further away from you get, the lower the resolution is. So that's kind of cool. So theoretically, if you were somehow able to pull out and come over to like Giant Steep, right now, Giant Steep, if you could somehow detach and come over here and look at it in real time, would be really low resolution, really like just like flat polygons, nothing of interest. But once you got closer, then the detail would come back in, and that's how this whole solar system operates. The reason why this matters is that there is a planet here called Dark Bramble, and Dark Bramble has this really fascinating and problematic thing about it where it's actually bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. So when you go into it, you end up in a pocket that's much larger. And inside that pocket is pockets that are also larger than those pockets. So it's just this large array of pockets that get continually larger on the one side. And the problem is, you can shoot a scout into there and track what's going on. Your camera can actually move, which means that wherever the scout goes, because it's seeing in live time, it's not a separate level. It has to still be active at the same time, which means the interior of Dark Bramble is still a live level at that point in time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to have in real time footage coming out of Dark Bramble. So then how did they do it? How did they put something that big in that spot? And the answer to that is they didn't. And so you would think that, oh, what they did was they set it up that when you go in there, you actually teleport to a different spot. And when you teleport to that different spot, then you just play the game there and then you come out of Dark Bramble. But let's go back to that programming thing where the further you get away from where the player is, the lower the resolution is of the game because of the rendering problem. And if that's true, then if you were to shoot the scout into it, if you put Dark Bramble's interior somewhere else in the universe, really far away where we can't see it, if you shot the scout into it, the resolution would be crap. It would be terrible, and it'd be all clunky. So to get that kind of fine resolution, you'd almost have to bring the interior further into the game, which means that it's got to be around here somewhere. Isn't that weird? But you don't see it. So where is it? And the cool thing is, it's actually in plain sight. And the moment you go in there, it activates that area on the map. But of course, because you're inside Dark Bramble, you'll never see it because you're inside. But actually, you went into you went into its portal entrance and got teleported to the interior. So you never actually see it from the outside. But what happens when you shoot the scout in? The moment you shoot the scout in, you automatically have activated the inside because it has to record the inside of Dark Bramble. Which means if you shoot the scout into Dark Bramble, or you send your ship into Dark Bramble, because those areas always have to be, those two items always have to be active, like the game always has to be able to track where your scout is, your game always has to track where your ship is, it has to, Dora is trying to tune that out, because once they go in there, if you're outside, but your stuff's in there, the interior area has to be activated on the map. And it is. And you can see it. And you can go find it. And I will show you where it is. Because that's just weird. Alright. So, to demonstrate a little bit more visually what my point is, we're going to start by going to the Dark Bramble seed. So not actually Dark Bramble, but there is a seed. And it's right over here. Woo. So here's the Dark Bramble seed, and just like the planet itself, the moment you shoot this in here, but you have to shoot it in there. That's the key thing. It has to actually go in the hole. The trick is it's there, but it's also, where's Dark Bramble? Scout over here. It's also there because if you look at the radar map, we have, does it not show it on here? Oh, it doesn't show it, but my scout's over here too. But it does say that there's a duplicate signal. And if we look at our camera and we turn the camera in, we can see the interior of Dark Bramble. You can see that it's fairly detailed. It's actually, that shot doesn't really scream detail to me, but if you start to click through here, and you can see the details as it goes through. Wait for it, wait for it. That's pretty detailed. You got the trees there. You can see just the etching of a fireplace at the bottom, if you know what you're looking for. So if it's that detailed, the question, of course, becomes, where is it? So, whoa, mister, where is it? Well, the cool thing is they told me in the video that I watched that all you have to do after that is come to the South Pole and you will see it. So that we can appreciate what the South Pole is, let's go that way, shall we? All right, I am right on the equator. And you will see a huge anomaly in the sky that is actually the area of the map that is designated to be Dark Bramble. Where'd you go? There it is. You see it? See that? That's Dark Bramble. That's the actual Dark Bramble. And what's really weird, to prove this, the moment the scout leaves Dark Bramble, it deactivates the interior, because the game doesn't need the interior anymore until the next time you go in. So if I call the scout back, poof, it just goes away. Because the programmers assumed that you would never come down here to look for it. So again, the question becomes, where is it? Where is that location? And because we're on the South Pole, that actually means it's underneath the solar system. So you see how there's that orbit that goes this way? It means that Dark Bramble's actually chilling about where my cursor's pointing, if you went directly south from the sun. So let's go there, right? That makes sense. Like, that's the next most important thing to do. Like, if you could do that, we gotta go there. We gotta check it out, right? The reason why I look like I'm really good at video games is I don't try doing things that I clearly don't know how to do. Damn it!
I thought the Dark Bramble.
Anything that'll activate it.
I didn't know there was that thing there.
Oh, this is how you find out where Feldspar went, is the very first thing they talk about the seed. And then you're like, well, how is Feldbar's harmonica coming out of that seed? Alright, so now we fly to the South Pole again. There it is. Wow, that's much more apparent this time. Oof, that's hard to see. It is, you can just tell in front of me there's a spot where there's no stars. From what I understand from what I was listening to on the YouTube video that talked about it, is this thing is actually about the size of the sun. It's about 3 kilometers in radius, because it has to house all of the different pockets of the interior of Dark Bramble. So again, the next question becomes like, how far out are we? Notice how far underneath the map we were when I zoomed out like that? Like we're down there. In fact, buckle up. In fact, we're so far away that the game automatically activates the autopilot to bring you back. Yep, it's on the left here. What I'm doing is I'm deliberately pivoting behind it so that it will eclipse everything. Now, you can tell it's also not meant to be seen because it doesn't do the normal eclipse things that you would see. Like when we first started out the stream and you saw the quantum moon, you got to watch it. There it goes. You got to watch it eclipse and do some super cool effects. And then, like, there was atmospheric haze. But yes, folks, that's the real Dark Bramble. Boom. Just eclipse the sun. And again, give you an idea how far out we are. Oh, I think for a quick blip, you got to see it on the map when it does the zoom out. But yeah, it's blocking out everything. Now here's where the intrigue and the disappointment comes in at the same time. Because the next question becomes like, ooh, can you go inside? And spoiler, the answer is no, you can't. So we're gonna slow down my ship to not moving speed. And we're gonna get closer. I'd shoot my scout into it, but as we saw, the moment you shoot the scout or call the scout back, it deactivates the area. And we'll do that again at close range. But what I want to do is get to a point where you can still see the sun. So when I drive into it on purpose, you'll see it. Okay. Coming to a full halt. Oh, you can see the deep space probe coming up on the right side there. Yeah, that little red blinky thing. We're so far out. That's how you track the, how you find the stranger. All right, we're going into it. Full throttle.
The black hole.
It really is.
You just go through it.
Nope, you can tell I'm not going anywhere because I'm pushing around the outside of it. I'm sliding along the bottom side of it. Because as you can tell, as I drive into it, there's like an impenetrable, invisible wall that's preventing me from getting there, but you can tell that I'm not faking it because my gauge is going full throttle forward, and I'm just slowly sliding around it. It must be just inside the orbit. Actually, I think it is, because you can see it when I turn this way. If you look at the bottom loop of where the probe goes, you can see where it gets blocked out. I think I saw something on that. Chosen one, check that out. So yeah, you follow the deep space probe. Its view is being blocked by Dark Bramble right now. Is that cool? But we are literally right now staring directly at Dark Bramble. So I'm going to like turn off the probe. Just a moment here, let me halt my ship. Theoretically, the entire universe should be dark like right about now. I was like, oh, we're getting further away, but nope, the sun's blowing up. Woo! I don't see it. I don't see it. Clear. Whoa, there it is. There it is. I bet we're far enough out that this won't hit us. Famous last words. Oh, it's right on the edge. Oh, that makes perfect sense. Because that way the supernova still wipes it. Oh, I wonder if the supernova would have wiped it off if I'd stuck around.